All right, welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Thursday, May 9th, 2024. It is 7 p.m. even here in the Arizona desert. So let's check out what went on today. Now, looking at BitcoinDaily.com, as always, got more for you there. Looking at FinViz here in general for the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500, they closed in the green. Oh, sorry about that. Wait, I got something playing in the... Wait, I gotta fix that. Hold on. You guys might not be able to hear that, but I can. One sec. Sorry about that. One sec. While I'm looking at things here, I'm playing back to myself here. That does not always record so well. So one sec. Let me fix that. I think it is fixed. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, we'll start over at bitcoinlevy.com. Got more for you there. Check it out. Looking at FinViz today, Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500. They just barely closed in the green. It was kind of a shaky day, but ultimately they did close up. Looking at the S&P 500 in detail, one of the things, for whatever reason, Costco made kind of a move today, up 2%. That's interesting for the S&P 500. Overall, other than that, nothing out really of the ordinary. Some things up, some things down. Looking at Bitcoin trading volume last 24 hours, it is 8.1 billion. It's down 23% last 24 hours. So definitely we're rolling into the weekend with declining volume and not much volume. So watch out, because that actually equals whale volatility. So watch your longs and shorts with leverage. Looking at in detail here, seeing I saw some shorts get wrecked a while ago, a couple hours ago, when Bitcoin got a little bit perky. But in general, hard to read what the longs and short crew are doing out there. Looking at longs versus shorts on Binance, where the big money is in volume, 63% long, 36% short. So definitely a bit of a long bias. Looking at the top 20 exchanges, in general, we're seeing kind of red, even though we're seeing some spot trading volumes definitely happening. Overall, we're not seeing, it's not really showing up tremendously as a big spike in volume. We're seeing some movement for sure on price action, and we'll look at that in just a second. But overall, I'm not seeing the increase in volume that I would usually expect when that happens. Looking at Bitcoin, the top 100, Bitcoin coming in at 62,942. Looking at the top 100, definitely have some alts going crazy today. A cash, whatever that is, AKT, is up 28%. One of my favorites, actually Ruin, which is known as Thorchain, is up 10%. So Pepe is up 10%. So we're seeing some real movement. Doge even up 6%. It's wonderful. So we're seeing, I think it's because Bitcoin's been steady enough. As we move into that, I mean, we can look at Bitcoin. This is a daily chart. Let's real quick just break this. Let's just do like this. Let's make this 4 hours. Sorry about that. And I'll show you why I think we're probably seeing the alt movement here. And it's this basically. If we do a parallel channel, you can kind of see, you see sideways action basically, and when you look at when it breaks above the top of that channel, that's where you're going to see sells start to happen. When it breaks below, that's when you're going to start to see buys start to happen. That really is whale manipulation, in my opinion. Retail traders are not really doing that, so it's been held sideways. And with that said, when Bitcoin gets a nice solid sideways, when traders for the alts can depend on it moving sideways, they have belief in it moving sideways or sideways and breaking towards the upside. That's when you start to see alts kind of do what they're doing recently, like today, just exploding. Just really, we're seeing some great movement on some alts. That's all the top 100 that we're looking at here, and we're just seeing great movement there. So definitely, Bitcoin sideways, not much volume, but it is offering alts the opportunity to move. We're rolling into the weekend with decreasing Bitcoin trading volume. Let's see how it looks on Friday. If it's going to continue downwards or actually make an upwards move in volume, that'll tell us a lot. 4-hour chart is below the 200 moving average right now, and the 4-hour chart and the 4-hour chart's below the 200 moving average and the 314 moving average. So that is not too incredibly perky, but at least it's a very solid sideways. Looking at the 45-minute chart, this is very interesting. 45-minute chart is beginning to, sorry, on my laptops, everything's a little bit crazy. The 45-minute chart broke above the 314. It's between the 314 and the 200. That's a weak spot to be, but it's challenging that 200. If it can get above that and continue up and find support on top of that 200 moving average, the white one, that's going to be definitely very, very powerful. Looking at the daily chart, actually, you can see that that sideways channel I was making very, very clearly there in the daily chart. It gets rid of some of the abruptness, and as you can see, we're sideways. Now, you could almost take you could go like this without any difficulty, and kind of say, I see a downwards, a downwards trend. You have like kind of a low, a lower low, a lower low, and definitely you're seeing kind of like a high, a lower high, then a higher high, then a lower high, and a lower high. So, definitely it's not exactly an inspiring Bitcoin chart, but I would say that more than I see a downwards trend, honestly, I see a sideways whale trend. And that can be a good opportunity, like if it continues to get into some serious alt magic. Now, with that said, note this is a daily chart. So if we look at the MACD, what are we seeing? We're seeing a positive MACD cross down here below the heartbeat, and that definitely is usually extremely bullish, but we're not seeing that movement here yet on the daily chart. So I would say, well, you kind of are. It just depends on when you start counting it. If you count it back here, then you can kind of see it starting to play out. They sort of match right there. But anyway, this weekend, it's very, very hard to tell. But what I can see is things like this. This is a 45-minute chart. This is Ruin. This is Thorchain. Beautiful upwards channel. You got higher highs. You got higher lows. It's moving. It's wonderful. Looking at the indicators, it's been moving pretty darn hard. Is it going to continue? I'd be careful. I'd at least get in here a little bit detailed. I would look at this thing and try to catch, kind of a bounce off the bottom of that channel before I got in. But with that said, let's look at a 4-hour chart. How's that looking? Yeah, 4-hour chart. We had a beautiful break above the 200 moving average. Now we're challenging that 314 on the 4-hour chart. That is really happening. This is a very powerful chart. This one here, this little marker here, is a secret moving average cross, blockchain education moving average cross. You kind of got to go over to bitcoindailybee.com and click on the link here. You get a big discount, and you'll find this is one of our secret indicators. So I can't tell you what that is, but on the 4-hour chart, it just flipped, and that is really a powerful sign. So we're seeing a lot of alts getting ready, like Ruin here, to just lose their damn minds. So we're going to see this weekend's hard to tell. KuCoin and Binance, MEXC, CoinX, Bybit, MEXC. That's kind of gets crazy. Well, one thing about, I wish there was I do trade on KuCoin sometimes for sure. I almost would like to have gotten in on Ruin. Been watching it, but I didn't get in. But I think this is going to be a strong player. So, top 100 are just ripping, and maybe like tomorrow or this weekend, I could start doing a quick chart on all the top 100 that are over 10%, in a upwards movement. And we could maybe see some good alt setups, especially ones that are on exchanges that you might actually be using, because us U.S. users are kind of limited as to where we can trade. Anyway, with that said, I could look at alts, but I got to go. Let's try and do that this weekend. We'll look at alts. We'll rock to all the ones that are over 10% this weekend if we continue with the upwards movement for the alts. Bitcoin stays sideways, and I think we're going to see possibly an alt explosion this weekend. So everybody, take care, and I will talk to you again soon. Sorry I missed yesterday. It was extraordinary circumstances. I'll see you tomorrow.